Joined right out of high school. I think I had filled out my paperwork, had everything signed, all the interviews done when I was still 17 years old. Turned 18 in March, graduated June, off to basic in July. I want to get out in the world and do some good, and that felt like a good way to do it. Operation Grizzly, that was a lot of fun in 2002. You know, I felt like I was part of something bigger, definitely there. Peacekeeping in Bosnia for sure. I didn't even know really, I'm still learning about, you know, what I was involved with over there. There was a few things that I look back on now and I see, wow, you know, that was really as a result of unprocessed trauma. I was dealing with alcoholism a lot back then. It was feeling like I just got back from peacekeeping. I was drunk and I was like, I need this right now.
I didn't even really know anything was kind of off. We would drink together, and like, to be completely transparent, like, alcoholism also runs in my family. So I also enjoyed having a beverage. But it was, you know, maybe after about a year, I realized it was maybe a little more.
I used alcohol as a coping mechanism, but I didn't really even know what coping mechanisms were back then. You know, I didn't have that emotional intelligence. So it just became too often. It was, if I wasn't drinking, I was thinking about drinking.
It started with having to borrow money for a car payment, and then Richard went out with some friends and came back the next morning and found out that that money was gone because he went drinking.
I was always finding opportunities to drink, and although I felt the demand of the family and the small children, it felt like I could balance it.
I was not privy to the trauma that kind of was his base, who he was. I wasn't aware. Feeling helpless, that I couldn't give him what he needed to settle, to be calm. When he started drinking again, not knowing why I couldn't give him what alcohol could. Feeling like sorry, maybe I wasn't enough.
When you're so caught up, when your mind is so caught up in that, and you're dealing with that, you're often not, I wasn't really being attentive to her needs. She was really basing everything off of how I was doing.
The person I knew when I was in junior high school, when I was in grade 9, and we developed that really strong friendship. And just who he was over the course of a decade of writing me letters and calling me, I think it was probably that foundation that kept us together. And had we not had that foundation, would we be sitting here right now? Probably not. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was hard.
It was just by starting to have those conversations about how I was feeling. You know, that took a long time, but to learn, you know, when I was feeling a certain way, that by talking about that, or just examining that, just by bringing it up alone, I don't feel very good today. You know, I started to learn that I could really lean on my spouse for support that way, instead of carrying it around or beating myself, feeling like I should feel better about something. Just to have a conversation with her and tell her how I'm really feeling, and then that always makes me feel lighter.
There was the referral to OSI, and with Richard getting help, it's allowed me to, you know, open up to my family about my experiences, which has been enormously helpful. It's allowed me to open up to friends, talk about things I'd never shared with anybody in my life. So it's getting better. Do I Even to this day, do I practice a lot of self-care? Probably not enough, but it's getting better.
I leaned into so many people throughout my recovery. Every chance I took of support, I leaned into it. And that's one thing I learned to do early on. It's hard. It's like you're getting into water, cold water. You don't know what it's going to be like in there, but the more you get in, the better it is. And the more people I could lean into, the better it was for me. So to think, I know for sure I couldn't have got this far without other people. There's no way I could have done this on my own. No way I could have done it without my wife by my side, supporting me at every step of the way. And I know for the most factual, if I had alcohol in my life, I would never have even got this, not even close to this far. Things would have been so different for me. That was one of the most important things I've ever done in my life, was to quit alcohol.